It's the May bank holiday weekend, and that is cast in stone as the first race we visit at Oulton Park. The classic Oulton Park circuit that's steeped in history, that packs more into a lap than most other tracks in the world, frankly, and a packed house as we get what we would call the start of the ground war, the start of the race around the UK, as far north as Knockhill and as far south as Thruxton. But Oulton Park is a classic. There will be no one in the paddock that doesn't like this circuit, because again, it just gives everything that a rider wants. Undulation, fast corners, slow corners, chicanes, and just the full package. The scene set for Oulton Park, the start of the ground war. It's Bennett's BSB back in GB. After a sensational opening round at the Spanish circuit of Navarra, BSB is back to the Heartland. The order has been reset a little, and across nearly all the sessions from testing into free practice, there's been 12 or 13 riders all separated within just a second.
Everyone looks like they're close. It looks like we're going to be shaping up for a good season. The big question after Navarra was, with Yamaha's continue the domination, and I think you could see that Navarra was a particular circuit which really suited the Yamahas, and obviously we can now see that everyone's going to be in the party. Multiple manufacturers represented, multiple teams represented, just how we like it in Bennett's BSB. This is also the return to Oulton Park and a reminder of what happened the last time we were here. We came here off the back of the death of Paul Bird, a legendary figure within the championship, and across the winter it was touch and go whether the team that bears his initials would actually be on the grid. But now, headlined by his son Frank and his daughter Jordan, they're back.
I'm Frank Bird, I'm co-team owner of HIGGS PBM Ducati. Yeah, I just like to go under the radar really. I'm just, I like to say, man of the people. Not many people know who I am, so I just stay out of the way. I've been titled as truck driver, mechanic, tyre boy, a bit of everything really, but my real job title is co-team owner. Yeah, I mean, from the first test, we just really focused on ourselves really. We've got a lot of base data here from the previous years. I think that's where we struggled really, to be honest, in Navarra. We didn't have anything. That's where we kind of got a little bit lost on the Sunday. Yeah, so we've just learnt from our mistakes from there, and just build on ourselves, really concentrate on our own thing, not run too many new tyres, and base seems to be there straight away. So Glenn's super happy with the bike, and just been chipping away at it, and it's showing. We've been top of 7 out of 8 sessions so far, and need to keep that going the rest of the weekend.
With a one-rider team that had a steady start, to be fair, at round 1, but Glenn Irwin is here to mean business.
I expected Glenn to run away with it. I think out of the 8 or 9 sessions, however many there's been, he's topped almost all of them apart from one. He's had 2 tenths in his pocket all the way, no matter what it's been like.
We arrived here, I guess on the back of a good test at Donington Park. I would say a good test at Navarra, a good Super Pool, reasonable race 1, just realised the Yamahas were too strong in some areas of the track. Not so good race 2, but it's very easy to dwell on the last thing of a thing, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think if you look at Navarra on a whole, Navarra was good. The 8 wasn't good, and it's, like I said, it's easy to go, oh, Navarra was a disaster. It wasn't. It was just race 2. But I came here, I feel I have a really strong mindset. I refocused even more so coming into Oulton Park, and yeah, it's been nice. Our bike works quite well here. I've thoroughly enjoyed the track this weekend. The pace is high, the level is high across the class, and we've topped pretty much every session. Qualifying was a bit messy, still ended up second.
Kenny Kenton on the McCams Racing Yamaha comes over the line as well. He goes to 3rd with a 34 flat. Glenn Irwin immediately goes up into P2. There he is, just going through our Hall corner. He's 2nd with a 33.6.
I think they were quite clever in qualifying PBM. They didn't really want to do too much more than get a front row. They got their front row, they delivered, didn't they? They really did deliver. And it's nice to see that, because remember the last time at Oulton Park, it was a completely emotional roller coaster. There was all sorts of things going on with riders on track and with high emotions in pit lane garages.
It's just lovely to be riding here and to feel fast. And when you feel fast, you are fast. I feel good.
I think it's shown that there are other riders to consider for 2024 as well. And seeing Christian Idden back up there, you could just see he's walking around the paddock with his chest out and he's smiling, and that's a good sign. A happy rider is a fast rider.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident, to be fair. Last year was so tough. We picked up some podiums last year, but I don't really know how. It was just hard. All through last season, every single race I went into, I was just knew I was going to have to ride way over my head to do anything, and even just to get results that I didn't think were what myself and the team were capable of, even to get what I would consider subpar results was hard. So yeah, this year the team have made a big step with the bike, massive step, and yeah, it means I can enjoy riding again, and I can work on myself, and it means that, yeah, do the sessions, improve the setup, improve the way I ride, and it's all starting to come together.
I was surprised that Lee Jackson didn't make it directly through. He's a guy that's won here before. He's a former winner in the British Superbike Championship around this very circuit. So it was quite a shock to see him have to struggle, but there was an issue with the bike as well, which caused all sorts of problems for them towards the end of free practice and the start of Q1, where they couldn't get a fuel pump to work. The guys that were out of place, I have to say, Andrew, Josh, Lee Jackson, Charlie Nesbitt. I see Brooks is still mega. On his day, he's one of the best riders in the championship, but you can't take anything away from Max Cook. I think it's a changing of the guard.
I'm not a rookie now. I feel really good in myself and in the team this second year. Even though I didn't do so much riding over the winter, I feel like I've really stepped up my game. And now it's like, last year my goal was to get points, and I was driving home happy if I got 15th, you know, if I got a point that weekend, and now it's like top 10 and that bit more. But yeah, the qualifying was really good. I've gone way over half a second faster than what I did last year as well. But, you know, things are going really good at the moment, so yeah, I can't complain.
Round 2 of Bennettts BSB for 2024 brings us back to Britain and Oulton Park. Perfect weather conditions in front of a packed crowd here for a bank holiday bonanza.
Race 1 was intense, and it was like a chess match.
Away we go. A good start actually from Kyle Ride from pole position. Glenn Irwin not getting away so well initially. It looks like Ryan Vickers, the championship leader, will have the inside line. He's going through on his teammate as well. Slightly has to pick up there, does Kyle Ride. Ryan Vickers with a lightning start, the number 7, as he leads down the hill towards Cascades.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a particularly good qualifier. It's never been a strong point in my arsenal, but all throughout this weekend I've been able to go out and put a lap in that's half decent and on my own, which is good.
Around Druids Corner we go. Vickers it is that leads from Irwin and Idden, and Idden's got some decent drive there, number 21 on the Oxford Products Ducati.
Had a good start and made a bit of a mistake actually. I think it was the end of lap 1 and ran wide, and Kyle came through, and I managed to get him straight back, and I just felt like the bike had a lot of potential. I felt good.
But no moves made down into Lodge Corner on this occasion. Tommy Bridewell has moved up 1 place ahead of Jason O'Halloran, who's dropped at 9th.
Sorry, big mistake from Chris Hidden there. And that has allowed Kyle Ride back under him at Lodge Corner.
I think the front row was how it would be with Vickers, with Ride, with Irwin, and just what order would it come out in. I expected Glenn to get it, but you know, obviously they did enough and they were happy with that. Tommy Bridewell, maybe he still is thinking of Navarra, maybe that is playing on his mind, but he had another technical failure or a technical issue which stopped the bike here as well. He had a bit of a joke and a laugh with that with me, so obviously it wasn't too serious, but watching the way he goes about his business, he's good on that Honda.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tommy Bridewell up the inside of Max Cook down into Cascades.
Yeah, nice clean move there. New tarmac, a little bit more grip and a little bit smoother.
We mentioned earlier it's so difficult to pass down into here, but he got all that sorted nicely. Can he get the bike stopped? Glenn Irwin leads down into Hizzies.
Yeah, race 1 was, again, a bit of fun. So lap 1, some swapping position, I passed Ryan. Only really for a bit of fun in the second chicane, because it was just a bit of fun. To make a move there, and then Kyle done the really good move up into Druids, which is to put yourself underneath. So I was back to 3rd temporarily, and I thought get to the front and just focus but relax. Not necessarily let's try to make a break. I pulled it back a bit. You got to conserve energy. You can't ride these things no matter how fit you are. You can't go banzai for 18 laps. It's not just tyre wear, it's rider management. So brought it back, and the lap time was like the qualifying time. So I was like, oh, keep doing this.
The pace was fast, really fast. And then Glenn gets to the front and he's smashing out 33 nines, 34 flats for fun and actually pulling away. And you know what, I think the only reason I passed Ryan is because I accepted they was faster than me.
Across the line we go. Glenn Irwin then a 33.9 from the number 2. He leads from Christian Idden.
You get a sensation straight away whether you've got something underneath you that's raceable or not, and you know, straight away I'm like, oh, you know, this is raceable, this is well raceable, this is good. So yeah, I felt really good and got myself into 2nd, and Glenn was pulling a hot pace. Like every time I looked down at my dash when I was seeing 33s, like that's going some round here, and they kept popping up. I'm like, whoa. We're on it here, boys.
And a 33.8 to another fastest lap of the race from Glenn Irwin. He's stretched his advantage now to 7 tenths, although it's just come down a tenth through sector 1. He didn't just been able to pull him in a bit through sector 1. In fact, you can see visibly Christian Hidden closer there.
It was a good race and a close race. I was expecting there to be some sort of explosion in it somewhere.
I saw race 1 planning out for Glenn Irwin exactly how they would plan a race. They had plan A and plan B, he said to the pit lane reporter, and I think he executed plan A perfectly, 100%. Kyle Ryde and Ryan Vickers at one point looked like they were in trouble when Christian Hidden came through. Now I'm saying Christian Hidden because I didn't see that coming. But I suppose the bike goes well around here, the team goes well around here, and Christian's a class act, real serious class act. To watch the way how he was riding that bike, he was matching Glenn sector for sector, lap for lap, and over a stretch of laps, they were all together as well. Christian looked good. I didn't put him in my sweepstake.
He's one of those riders that it wouldn't surprise you if he won anywhere on anything. He doesn't do a lot of it, or hasn't done, but it wouldn't surprise you.
Tommy's there as well. Tommy's there. He's got the speed, and I know they've had a few technical issues at the start of this season, but he's got that speed, and I really do feel like we are going to see at some point, and I know they keep on saying, right, it's all water under the bridge, we're good friends now. I don't believe it, and I think that at some point this year we are going to see those two come head to head on the circuit again.
Hovering at about 4 tenths out front as Tommy Bridewell then has to make the lunge down into Lodge Corner, and he makes it stick. It was actually a really clean move at the end.
I can't remember many moves from Tommy that aren't clean. He's a clean rider.
Oh, and we got a crash here.
That's Max Cook, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like just behind Jason and Rory, just went into Shell Oils, and then poof, just lost the front, just in a bit too deep, and that was it, gone.
What a shame for him in ninth place.
Great ride, thankfully uninjured.
Tommy had good speed at the end. He had good speed at the start and at the end, so maybe just I'm not sure where he qualified, but his qualifying let him down a little bit, but obviously he had good speed because the last 3 laps he caught me up a little bit.
The ride was concerned about tyres and managing the tyres, and it's really difficult not to go as fast as you can with the tyres you've got, knowing that you've got to conserve them. It is a difficult thing to do, is that?
We struggled like a random few things kept happening with the bike, like when we was on track. Just a bit of inconsistency with the bike. So the guys are now looking into that, because in the race it was strange, you know. And we think something might have been a little bit of a fault, so we're just analysing that, and I think we've found the issues, because, you know, the Yamaha's normally great on tyres and stuff, and I just couldn't stop the bike, couldn't turn it, couldn't get out of the corner. It was really weird. The whole bike was just off.
Looking to try and get into the slipstream of his teammate. Is he going to try and find a gap down into Lodge Corner? On this occasion, he pulls out of the slipstream. He's having a go. It's Kyle Ryde on his teammate Ryan Vickers, who knew it was coming. Brooks has gone through on Haslam on the FHO Racing BMW, and Tommy Bridewell has made his move now on Ryan Vickers. So Vickers is struggling.
He is. He's struggling with rear grip.
Glenn was running a really good pace, so it made no sense for me to sort of try and do anything to upset what we were doing, so we were pulling away from the guys behind a little bit, and I had a bit of a plan, and I was just chipping away at the gap to him just a little bit, like half a tenth a lap, and then I had a big moment at Cascade, just lost both wheels.
I feel I raced well. I like leading. Tried to manage the race. When it went to 0.5 with a couple to go, I knew we had to do something special, so to go back into the 34.2 and 34.3, the penultimate 2 laps as such. Little moment on the last lap, but just give everyone a talking point on social media.
Just coming up to lap Louis Vallely. Oh! Yeah, Glenn Irwin almost threw it away.
He did.
I'm not too worried about the moment. Yeah, it's good for the series, good PR, and I'm the only one there is, so I guess good PR for me.
But either way, he's got his first one on the board. Glenn Irwin wins race 1 at Oulton Park from Christian Hidden.
What's the fiver on that? I won't take that to heart, but Christian Hidden, impressive.
Probably 5 or 6 guys that are capable of winning this weekend, and probably about 15 that are capable of getting on a podium, so it's not easy. Just got to try and get out the front and get away from all the messing about, and do what I can.
Glenn just rode so well. I mean, obviously there was this sort of little heart-stopping moment on the last lap. Glenn getting back to winning ways, and an emotional victory as well, you know, with the new sort of formed PBN team. with Frank and Jordan. That is emotional. It's really nice to get that one ticked off.
That's the first official win for the new chapter. In the books. I was just really grateful that my team stayed together. Very, very thankful to everyone who made that happen, Jordan, Frank, and all the team sponsors who have stepped up. And yeah, it meant a lot. I wanted to thank them individually because we are a team. Like, I wanted to buy them all a beer last night, but I think the bar shuts at 9 on Sunday night in Premier Inn, and they were still working here at 9:45 looking at data and stuff. So yeah, honestly, mate, it's a great place to be. I don't think I need to keep saying I'm in a good place. I just am. I guess I am the type of person that probably expresses how they feel, and I do feel good. So do you know what? Keep it going. Love it.
I like the fact that the sprint race is the first race on day 2 now, because I think that with a feature race under their belt, they've got everything dialed up, setup-wise, and they're all just going to go for it, hammer and tong.
It's a bank holiday bonanza at Oulton Park. A bumper crowd. It's packed here for race day on Bank Holiday Monday, and we're ready to bring you here at Oulton Park a sprint race which is incoming. Day 1 was Ducati territory. What's in store for day 2? Lights out for the start, and it was a really good one from both Ducatis. Christian Idden in particular lining up alongside Irwin, but Irwin's got the whole shot. Danny Kent's got the inside line. Tommy Bridewell around the outside as well. Looks like he's moved up to 3rd and is in just behind Christian Idden.
It felt great on the bike, to be honest. That was the main thing for me. I felt really strong.
At this stage here, unless Idden's made a mistake, Irwin's starting to break away.
Yeah, well, actually, a little bit of both. I think Irwin is trying to get away, but Idden did make a mistake down at Hislop chicane. But there's no doubt Glenn Irwin definitely has the confidence now to try and go away.
Race 2 was a funny one because conditions were cooler than what they were yesterday for race 1, and you know, the guys are like, this is going to be a fast pace, Glenn, you know that, and this is going to be, you know, flat out from the beginning.
The conditions today were quite a lot cooler, and actually morning warm-up we rodded a tyre, so it was the first time I've been a little bit nervous about sort of tyre wear, because we've had mega tyre wear all weekend and all through testing, so I was a little bit apprehensive.
It's Ducati, Honda, Yamaha, but Tommy Bridewell desperate to engage and find a way through. He doesn't want to let his old teammate disappear out front.
I think we can expect to see number 1 on the podium. I think we can. If Christian Idden keeps it together with that team, which I think they will as well, I think it's going to be difficult to see away from Irwin, Idden, Bridewell. Is that a prediction from me? It's a bold one, isn't it?
Through Hizzies. There is the Rocket BMW number 91 of Leon Haslam. Just trying to fend off O'Halloran as it stands. Oh, that was lovely and bold.
Lovely.
Really bold.
Lovely / brutal.
Jason O'Halloran getting his elbows out on Leon Haslam.
Got a good start because I had a better grid slot than what I had yesterday, and got in behind Glenn and pretty much just settled into what we were doing yesterday. Obviously it was a sprint race, so it was super short, and Tommy pounced on me when I really wasn't expecting it.
And it was quite a hold your breath sort of pass, but as soon as I managed to get past Christian, I could ride my own lines and focus and obviously, you know, catch Glenn quite comfortably.
And now Tommy Bridewell up there as well. They're all just bunching up together as they gang up, and Tommy Bridewell this time does pounce at Cascade. He has gone wide. Eden's going to try and get through, but the door closed a bit, but the momentum is now going to be with Eden on the Ducati.
Yeah, let's have a look how quick the Ducati is.
He pulls up alongside, but Tommy's having none of it.
But again, I know the strengths of the Ducati, and when they pick the bike up, all they've got to do is twist the throttle in. I can't match it, you know. They pull, probably out of Cascades, they're pulling 2.5 tenths of a second on me. Then the small little run down into the last corner, probably another tenth. I'm probably losing about 3.5 tenths of a second over the course of a lap, just in a straight line. And I'm making it up everywhere else.
We're going to get 12 laps of pure drama where a few kitchen sinks are going to be unhinged and there'll be some bold moves. And so that's what I'm hoping for. And I do think that Glenn clearly is the rider to beat based on what we saw in race 1, but there will be a few bigger moves being made.
Over the line then to start the final lap. Can Tommy get close enough to Glenn Irwin? Are we going to see some fireworks already in 2024? We certainly had them last time we visited Oulton Park. Christian Idden also looking well placed here as we go down into Cascades, and this is where he's strong.
He always does. He always does in sector 1.
I had a good plan of where to get him back, and I actually misread my board, and I thought I had another lap to go. So where I was going to pass him, I lined it up and rolled out of it on what was the last lap, but I thought it was 2 laps to go, and then I came around on the final corner, and it was like, oh, checkered flag's out.
No heart-in-mouth stuff around Druids on the final lap this time, and he's just got one corner to deal with. The checkered flag's being made ready. He will defend a pit down into the final corner. Danny Kent doesn't make the move. They all bunch up, but barring any errors here, it is going to be another Ducati win for Glenn Owen at Oulton Park. He wins the sprint race, but Tommy's back as well on the Honda. He takes second with Christian Idden.
Third was good. Still to get another podium was absolutely spot on, and the pace was hot. You know, we all knew that the sprint race after the pace on the previous long race was pretty good, so we knew that the sprint was going to be fast, and it certainly was. To get obviously the first podium for Honda, to get Honda back to where they should and deserve to be, to fight and to be fighting sort of at the sharp end already is probably, as a racer, you always expect, but you always want to win every single race.
I was pushed hard by Tommy and Christian, and when you see a pit board of Bridewell, Idden, Bridewell, that rotate it sometimes. They're 2 guys who are resilient, they won't give up, and but it's a quality that I feel I have an abundance of, so I think we were able to, you know, to sort of offset the challenge from them. I felt good. I didn't feel like I was on the limit, but I was doing everything as quick as I could and precise as I could without starting to go to the limit. I'm pleased to make it 2 out of 2 at that point. It was it was special.
It's time for race 3 in Bennett's BSB here at Oulton Park on Bank Holiday Monday. We have had an enormous crowd here to watch all of this racing action so far this weekend. What's in store then for the final act in Cheshire? Glenn Owen on for the treble on the HIGGS PBM Ducati, but his old foe and teammate Tommy Bridewell came knocking at the door earlier on in the sprint race. Are we set for another Irwin versus Bridewell battle here? 18 laps coming up in BSB, and away we go. A good start from pole there for Christian Idden, number 21 on the Motor Rapido Ducati. He will get the whole shot as Brian Vickers comes flying around the outside as well, number 7 on the Gorilla OMG Yamaha, but I think Glenn Irwin has wrestled his way back up into second. He has. Danny Kent also getting his gloves off. He goes up into third ahead of Haslam.
I started from pole and got away clean, and I tried to sprint to start with, and I got a bit of a gap, and then every now and again I got a bit throttle happy and made a few little mistakes, but I was really happy that every time I did I was able to sort of regroup and then put in a good lap time to follow it up.
They fly past the board there at Deer Leap and over the line to complete lap 1 of 18, and Idden with a flyer, a 40.1 from a standing start.
Christian got a great jump. I feel like I got a good start as well, and I thought, okay, let's study a little bit, but more importantly, let's not go too hard on the tyre.
Did you see Danny Kent just railing it around the middle of the corner there at Cascades? Nearly ran in the back of Glenn Irwin, then just out the corner, Glenn's able to get a little bit more throttle on there, sit the bike up and get that big Ducati going.
Ryan Vickers up the inside there, just squeezing underneath Leon Haslam.
Clean up.
And this is looking at like a step forward from Vickers as well, considering where he was in the sprint race.
I started to realise that the bike was a lot better. We'd fixed the problem pretty much. So I was really happy with that, you know. Thanks to the team for all the hard work, you know. It's been a strange couple of races, and we weren't where we should have been. We didn't have any of the characteristics really of the Yamaha.
Idden setting a good pace. Last lap 33.9, remember 33.8 on the last long race yesterday. Similar conditions actually.
It's been a good second sector though from Glenn Irwin. He's taken 2/10 out of
in one sector.
Christian in one sector, and again he's just put in the personal best of anyone in sector 3 as well. So Glenn Irwin then homing in on Christian Idden out front, looking for that treble victory.
Glenn, who basically we've just been welded together all weekend it seems, he's been super quick in the first chicane or the exit of it, and that's where with the setup we've got, mainly with regards to the gear ratios, that's where I've been struggling, and I made the tiniest little error coming out, and
Glenn Irwin with brilliant drive, and he's pulled up alongside it, and he
it?
goes through. Is he going to run around a bit deep?
He just absolutely pounced and made his move.
He does slightly, but that's really clever.
Yeah, he went a bit deep. He knew he was going to do that, but he's got the position.
It was really hard to catch him. He was riding really well, and honestly, that's what it was. But he made one mistake. I just said, I have to go now. I have to go, and I was happy to, you know, just sort of manage the +0 gap as such.
And then when he got in front, actually, he slowed the pace a little bit, which was a little bit of a worry because I knew, reading my pit board, I knew at least that there was Ryan behind me. Yeah, and it turns out Danny was there as well. So they were pretty close, and I could read on my pit board that they were close and they were coming.
So it's Irwin, Idden and Danny Kent. Whilst that's happened, Ryan Vickers on this lap has just closed marginally in 4th place as well.
We was doing 33s right until the last part of the race, so we found some nice pace and we was actually quicker than the guys ahead.
Come on, here we go.
Jumping into his ease.
And look at this is a 4-way dice, this.
It is 3/10 on this lap already that Ryan Vickers has pulled in. We're going to start the penultimate lap of the race shortly.
Just a shame that it took me a little bit of time to actually get used to riding the bike properly again, because I've been riding around quite a bit in the other 2 races and got in a bit of a habit of doing that. So yeah, to adapt back to the normal sort of riding style was good. It took me a few laps, but by the end of the race I was back in my comfort zone, felt good on the bike, and yeah, we was catching the guys, and it's good to make a move on Danny on the last lap.
And he's going defensive for the first time this weekend, but can he hold off the charging army behind? Over the line we go to start the last lap. Irwin leads from Idden, and then it's a couple of Yamahas in Danny Kent and Ryan Vickers. That didn't look too bad from Glenn Irwin. He's been strong there all weekend, so there's not going to be a move here, but again,
watch for Vickers, watch for Vickers.
Yeah, Vickers is going to go through. He takes 3rd spot. Will he get the bike stopped? Yes, he will. Vickers up to 3rd. Good ride from the number 7.
Absolutely.
We are on the final lap here at Oulton Park, and we've only got really one more overtaking opportunity left, and that's the final corner, Lodge Corner.
We've had it all weekend where me and Glenn have been fast in different places. You can't really have a plan when you're racing Glenn, but the last lap I knew I was quicker than him in a certain part of the track. But I think he was wise to it.
I knew in the last lap that I couldn't allow him to run through Druids because he was so strong there, and the team also put sector 4 on my board, which tells me the attack will probably come in sector 4.
Again, Idden there is close. That's as close as he's been for some time. Is he going to get the drive? Does he get the drive? He does. He's in the slipstream. Surely here, Christian Idden. He can't though. Defensive, really defensive is Glenn Irwin.
So I just parked it a little bit, used a bit of experience. And that should hopefully, it's not that he was compounded Druid stronger, he was just better through it, so I just tried to slow up the mid-corner speed. Got to that white line in the right-hand side, come the Druids, and by that stage you're going to make the other rider go not down the inside.
He'd done enough laps behind me to know where I was going to make a roll at him, and yeah, he anchored up just in the right place and got the job done.
And through the last corner they go, but can it be a run to the line? He didn't get some good drive. The checkered flag is out, but he does hold on. He's made to work for it, but it's a treble for Glenn Irwin on the HIGGS PBM Ducati. Christian Idden gave it a fair go on the last lap.
Bit disappointed that I couldn't do it, but really happy for the team. We've had, along with Ben in Supersport, we've had 5 trophies out of 5 possible trophies, so yeah, job's a dream, really.
To be honest, if I could tick Oulton Park off my list, then I know we can have a really good year, because it's the only circuit I've never been really in the battle for the podium, and I did it. You know, struggled in the first 2 races, and I believe if the bike, we didn't have a few issues, we would have battled for the podium and probably the win for sure.
I'm really having fun at the racetrack, and I just must give a massive credit to our team, because they are amazing. Even the hospitality staff, it was a step above this weekend, and the food they prepared, and it sounds like, yeah, it sounds maybe so silly, but everyone is part of this team, and when they have your food on time and it's what you order healthy stuff, and it all adds up. Yeah, the supporters, my family, my dad's over again, and words of wisdom from him. So grateful, loving it. It's going to continue. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Round of this brilliant encounter in 2 weeks' time at Donington Park. Make sure that you are with us there now in Leicestershire for all that corners. Christian Idden absolutely wastes Glenn Irwin on the podium.
This is unbelievable. Oh!